a city from zero to a full city, 10 years. I think it was like 60 or 70 billion. It's an amazing accomplishment.
If it's
Yeah.
true. China's
It's
not
true.
really
I saw
known
the
for
guy
their
walking around
honesty.
the fucking streets.
Cool.
Yeah.
China's not
So
exactly known for their honesty.
no. So
It
I
could be
mean,
kind
I
of
think like said,
pretexty, but it's still an amazing accomplishment.
yeah, the Chinese are doing amazing things, and the thing is that when you have population density, the culture naturally changes. So when you have people living next to one another, everybody quote unquote becomes small. They become less argumentative, more like the Chinese or Asian people. It just happens. So I can imagine, Mayor, from your perspective, like, oh my God, a country of a billion, individualist Americans living on this continent would be just chaotic. But that's not the case. The culture would change as it develops. Yeah.
What I'm actually saying, it's a chaotic system. That is one factor that possibly will go in that direction. It's not. That's not a guarantee. That's not like that happens. Look in our cities. They're much more violent than our rural areas, and that's true in other Western countries. America is particularly problematic because we had white flight, but it's a chaotic system. And you can't just keep adding to a system expecting it to go linear. That is a pressure in a positive direction that you're talking about, if it's true. But what I'm saying is, we don't even know the cohesiveness. This whole idea of nation states staying together is a relatively new development in world history, and hasn't been tested on large scales. So once you start bringing in
Yeah.
1 billion people that speak different languages, that's an empire. That's no longer a nation state.
Yeah, and you're right, Mayor. Like in China, people there are unified by a very common core set of principles.
I mean, you probably know
Yeah,
Chinese history a lot better than I do, but it wasn't always unified. It came together, fell apart, it came together, fell apart.
yeah,
Right
yeah,
now, they're
yeah,
together under authoritarian rule. That's
yeah,
not guaranteed to continue, and that wasn't inevitable from history. That's our iteration of
yeah,
history. That could have
yeah.
gone very
Yeah.
different ways.
Yeah, just going back to this whole depopulation thing. I don't know. I mean, there's going to be a lot of wonderful, warm places where they're going to be begging for people, and they have super cheap homes. So check them out online.
Yeah,
Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
if your basic argument is that we should have an open immigration policy, not open, but
well,
like
that's
a laissez-faire immigration policy that is bringing in
laissez-faire is a good
lots of good Americans, that makes perfect sense. It's when you hit numbers like you have to bring people in at a rate that they become American.
yeah. I
Once you
think.
bring in
Yeah.
too many people, they have a subculture.
Well,
And
I'm.
America is built on a melting pot. We're not built like Canada that we have side by side cultures. We're built as a melting pot. That
Yeah.
is hitting the fabric of America. I don't know what will happen if you break the
Yeah.
fabric of America, but it's extremely dangerous.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like Trump the way he's doing things. However, I like his style. However, I'm tired of this cold. So if we become part of the
You
United
need
States,
to
I'm moving to
deport
Florida.
Ilhan Omar.
I'm
Deport
moving to
Ilhan
Florida.
Omar and get rid of all of these grifters. I mean, it's literally come out that she married her own brother for a passport. So you
gross.
can't have people like that in your Senate. I don't know what the hell she's doing in government,
100%. Yeah, that's
but get
crazy.
her out.
She's in the house technically, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Imagine
like
her getting
they've taken
deported.
so
That
much.
would be hilarious.
Who are getting deported, Mayor?
Well, she at least needs to get censured for,
Ilhan Omar for
Oh, yeah.
immigration
advocating
fraud,
treason.
marrying her
Look, if they
brother.
wanted to, even though Trump said he wouldn't, but if the Heritage Foundation and other people were moving to export, as I call it, Prince Harry, then for lying about drug use, lying about who her father is probably right up there.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
it's
going to say we should
immigration
just make.
fraud.
Trump, did you hear the takedown he did of Harry? He says, no, I'm not going to throw him out of the country. He has enough problems with his wife or something to that effect.
Yeah, we should start a loyalty test, and we should start making sure that these people have it. Being loyal to a foreign country like Ilhan Omar is, I mean, that's just ridiculous. I can't believe we have a different country holding a congressional seat talking about their country over here. It's just like, what? We're not the UN. I don't understand how this happened.
And bear in mind, the country, her father actually participated in a genocide against my people in Somaliland, and they killed over 200,000 people. And then they fled to America, and somehow she got a fucking seat in Congress. And now she's using American taxpayer money to literally filter, aid to Somalia, that's literally funneling terrorism. It's funneling Al Shabaab. It's never
Yeah,
going
we
where it's
know.
supposed to go.
I think
So
that you guys should expand your rule of having had to be born in the US in order to access any office
Yeah,
seat.
I agree, 100%. That should be any office and agency position entirely.
Actually, that
Well,
would
agencies is more
well.
difficult, but
I
at least
disagree.
governmental offices, yes.
I
Well,
would
no,
say that.
I had an encounter with state
Mhm.
police one time, or I should say federal police, and this guy walks up to me and he's like, "Hello, what you doing over here?" And it was this like Southern British accent. And I'll tell you right now, I respect the police, but I never wanted to punch a cop so hard in the fucking face when I heard that accent talking to me with a U.S. badge on.
Why,
Isa,
James?
fun
James,
fact, there's no
ridiculous.
law that states that for our president either. I know people quote it all the time, but it's not a
Fun
law.
fact that says what?
But
It's
That
not
would
a
have to
what,
be
sorry?
born. There's no law that says you have to be born here to be president either. It's never
Nope, it
been
just
Really?
says
stated.
It
regular
says
citizen.
Constitution says a
No, it
natural
says if you
born
want.
Yes.
citizen.
yeah.
That
It
doesn't
has
mean
to
you have
be
to be.
exactly
No.
like
Yeah,
Elon
but
Wait.
Musk
like
could
if
never
you
be a
become a
Hold on,
president.
hold
citizen,
on,
you are
Bear.
naturalized.
Like
That's
No.
what that
Ted Cruz
means.
would
You
be
No.
become a
questioned if
citizen.
he was
No.
born in Canada.
If your parents are an American citizen and one of your parents are American citizen and you're
Yeah.
born anywhere on this planet, you're
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
natural born
Yeah,
citizen.
that's a natural born citizen, but you
Okay,
can't be
so
born
being
someplace
born here,
else.
which people quote all the time, and it's been like accepted as if it's a law, is not a law written anywhere. It hasn't been
Correct,
Oh well,
adjudicated.
but
but
you
somebody
are
born
American.
overseas can't become president and who
Why?
doesn't have
Where's the
American
law?
parents.
No, it does have American parents, but there's no law that says you must be born here.
Yes,
You must be a
yes.
citizen from the moment of birth. That's the
Think
law.
think
Yeah,
of
he's
it.
got to be
Think
Correct.
of
born within the
Yeah.
guys.
US
jurisdiction.
citizen
No
from the
one's
moment of
contesting
birth.
that. No
That's
one's
it.
contesting that.
No,
Think
that's
of
been
it from a
contested.
yeah.
USA
No,
citizen
it's
from
been
the moment of
contested.
birth. Yes.
It's been
Think of it
contested. It's
from.
never got adjudicated.
Mm,
John McCain was born in an army base in Panama, and they passed a congressional law that he could become president, so it circumvented the courts.
yeah.
Ted Cruz didn't
Well,
win, so it never went.
that was considered to be U.S. land, but only Ted
But
Cruz's mother was a U.S. citizen. His father was
only
not.
Ted Cruz's mother was a citizen. He didn't win, so no one had standing to bring it to court. Had he won, then that would have gone to court, and we would have had a ruling. But he ran for president, and it's been contested. It just hasn't been legally
Yeah.
contested.
I think think of it this from a very logical point of view, not one of I mean, James, respectfully, I have to completely disagree with you. There's a lot of talented people in this world who are born outside the United States. And if you exclude them from certain positions, you're kind of defeating the purpose of bringing people in because what you're looking for is talent. There's a lot of idiots in my country, in Canada, who are born in Canada, who have lived in Canada all of their lives, but they're dumb as fuck. And then I'll get in the cab with, you're right, James, some taxi driver from India who has a thick accent, right? But he's a fucking doctor, right, in his country, and all of his talent and all of his training has gone to waste because my government doesn't have a program in place to fast track him to becoming a doctor in Canada. He has to go back to school all the way
Well,
from the
same thing
beginning.
in
Boodle,
the
I
Well,
don't
U.S.
think you need
that's
to
different than
conflate the
foreign
president of the
nationals
United
holding
States with a
That's a
positions in the
taxi
government.
driver.
Yeah, that's a different issue. We have it in the U.S. People from Russia, when the Soviet Union broke up, or Russia broke up, I should say, are now like had to start out as street, whatever,
Yeah.
working in a hospital as a cleaner. Like it was
Yeah.
terrible.
Also, you're talking about Canada, where it's believable that most of the people there are retards. In America, we have lots of competent people to be president.
Jeff, I can always count
You
on
only have
very
8 million
intelligent
people to
responses
choose
from you.
from.
Yeah, the problem is that we have a government for the people, by the people. That means the citizens. So if we have a bunch of foreign nationals that run the government, is it really for the people, by the people? It
Well,
bears a
you vet.
question.
Yeah, you vet. No, no, no. I have no disagreement with that. You have to vent the people, but I wouldn't automatically exclude them. If you have talent from around the world, and
We still
there
exclude
are a lot of
Canadians, just
really dumb
Canadians.
Americans. I've met many of them on this app.
But we got enough to run the country.
Yeah,
I'm
and
just
next time we
saying.
rewrite the Constitution, Poodle, we'll definitely consult the perfumer guy from Canada.
Alberta.
Jeff, this is not.
Poodle,
Your responses are so dumb because it's
No, they're passive
Poodle,
aggressive. It's a
it's got
difference.
nothing. It's got
No,
nothing
they're
to do.
aggressive,
Poodle.
It's
aggressive. Come
logic.
on, don't
I'm
underplay
speaking
your
logically.
passiveness, Jeff.
Yeah, this is highly aggressive for Canadian. Poodle, 98% of Americans are honest, hardworking people that want a good life.
I
It's the
agree. I agree.
2% that give the rest of us a bad name. But then
I
again, we
was
keep
reading
voting
in
for
the
them.
Hadith. It said that Muhammad tried to impregnate Aisha Abi bint Bakir from 6 to 9 years old. I think that it's good what people are doing in Palestine by killing Muslims.
Who is this guy?
There you
Who is
go.
that?
There's an example. Yeah.
I don't know, but this is he sounded very Palestinian.
I'm just saying you
You
wouldn't
just gave
want
him the Gaza treatment.
to.
Out.
You
Yeah.
just don't want to
Oh,
exclude
James.
super intelligent, talented people from that. And the United States is in the position to pick from the world's best. You know, you just don't want to exclude them. That's my opinion. Like, look at Elon Musk, right? Whether you like him or don't like him, he certainly contributes to the GDP, and he's an intelligent guy and
Yeah,
creative, and
but
he
that's a
creates
different argument
jobs.
than the
Alexandria
government. You just
Ocasio-Cortez
changed the
says that
argument, Poodle.
Ocasio-Cortez says that he's the dumbest billionaire that she's ever known.
Yeah, because she's met so many of them to make that comment.
Really. Let's not forget, what's her name? Ilhan Omar. She married her brother.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
incest is a
surprised.
On
crime. It
paper,
is
on
a crime.
paper. No,
Randy, have you seen her brother though? He's really hot.
Yeah. No,
wait,
listen.
but Randy, didn't she marry him on paper?
Of course. He was just
Yeah.
on paper so that he could be a
But that
US
doesn't mean on
citizen.
paper only.
Oh, you think
And
there
if you
was
think
more
that's
than
a
paper? There
one-off
was like
case,
sheets
Yeah.
involved?
I think they're in love.
that's not a
No.
one-off case. That happens quite often in the West. A lot of people do commit marital fraud in order to give people
Yeah, but it's
citizenship. So
Yeah,
fraudulent. It's not because they
yeah,
want
I
to
mean,
have
it needs to be
sex. It's
stopped.
because
It
she
needs to be
yeah.
wanted
cracked down
him
on.
to be a
That
US
kind of
citizen.
bullshit
Yeah.
needs to be stopped 1,000%. You know, and I think if someone's coming into your country or my country, and then, you know, they got to be on their best behavior. I mean, I'm not that much of a softie. You know,
Hey,
I'm just
Poodle, do
saying.
you think
Wait,
this is
what?
Ask Poodle Hour?
Well, I don't know. Is this the Jeff?
Why don't you talk less? I've only unmiked to tell you you're talking too much, and you're saying
Why,
too little.
Jeff? Why is it just me?
He is not talking
Be-
too much. What are you
I
doing,
know
Jeff?
Jeff's got a thing
Why?
against me. Jeff's always had
Wait,
a thing
what?
against
This
me.
is a genuine question. Like, why do we
Oh
care
my
about
god.
marital fraud?
Oh my god. There we go.
This is a genuine question. I'm just asking.
Because it's
Because
fraud?
and
Well,
because when you're coming
according
into
to the
somebody's
government.
country, you got to respect the laws. You can't just fucking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
why don't
it's
we
a,
let
I'm not
everybody do
questioning the
it?
law.
Why
I'm
don't we
questioning
let
the law
everyone do it?
itself. Like, why do we care if the government recognizes the marriage or not?
You think
Oh
it's
my god,
bad?
Simon,
If
it's
you think
not
it's bad in
objectivist
America, you
room.
should
We're
try
not gonna
Africa,
do
man.
this right now.
Why have laws?
If you think it's bad in America, you should try Africa.
Based.
Randy, I
Yeah,
like your
well,
apartment.
you say base because you're a Mormon.
No laws.
Are you also an anarchist, Q?
Yes.
I didn't know this. This is
Oh
news
You know,
to
God.
every
me.
time I hear somebody's an anarchist, I want to go rob them immediately and teach them what anarchy is.
Yeah, and yeah,
Just
come find
like
out.
purge, just like beat you relentlessly and take your
Yeah.
wallet and be like, welcome to anarchy.
Yeah, I can protect myself. Come find out.
Don't forget, you should cut off random fingers, because if you cut off specific
Yeah.
fingers, that's not anarchy.
Yeah, we have to take the ring finger and it's going to be in a necklace because the finger necklaces are like a staple of anarchy for sure. Or ears. You can do ears if you want to go Mike Tyson with it.
No, you have to bite the ears.
Because
Randy,
the
is
police
that
would
your
protect me
place?
otherwise, right?
I like your
I
stuff.
left you.
No,
I like your
it's
house.
not.
I
To be honest,
Oh,
it's
okay.
I
not. It's just a photo.
I left you for
Ah,
10 minutes, and look what happened to you guys. Jesus.
What happened?
You're talking
Everyone is
about eating
civil?
people. No. They're
We're
talking
just talking
about
about the
like,
effects of anarchy on society and how bad it would be.
okay, Palestinian logic.
Yeah, exactly. What they
Exactly.
want. Like Gaza worldwide, how crazy that would be.
Exactly. We're still on topic, Daniel. We're still on Palestinian logic.
Globalize the intifada. That is it.
But you see what happens when we don't have Palestinians in the room? Well, actually, each Egyptian has been here, but he's always civil. It depends who he's interacting with.
Yeah, you could. There are people that can trigger Egyptian.
Yeah, I have seen Egyptian going crazy with Norm and Aya. I
Yeah,
had
well,
triggered Egyptian the other day a lot.
Norm can bring out the best in a lot of people.
Egyptian and I got into it
Norm is one of my
once.
favorite speakers on the app.
Generally, he's pretty reasonable to talk to.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like him. I don't know why. He's extremely reasonable.
Norm?
No, he's a little bit naive
I don't know.
sometimes too.
He definitely doesn't like. I mean, it's crazy.
Thanks, you
He's a
guys.
Democrat. That makes
I
people
really
mad because
appreciate
he
your
doesn't go with the
beautiful
left.
words.
What, Egyptian?
I said thank you. I really appreciate your beautiful words. Thank you all.
Respectfully?
Yeah,
Respectfully.
respectful.
I
Yeah, my friend, please, I replied to you. Please check your inbox.
Who are you
Masri,
talking to?
we're gonna hold a room crowning you the Zionist favorite anti-Israel activist.
Good title.
What
Okay.
about Soren?
We don't like
Soren's
him
crazy.
at all.
Yeah,
We
he's
don't
crazy.
value. We tolerate him. He entertains us.
Since someone mentioned that Norm's a Democrat, has anyone ever truly believed he's a Democrat? Have you ever heard him say a single thing about the Democratic Party that
No, I
reflected the
don't
fact
think
that he's a
he's a
Democrat?
Democrat. Just
Yeah,
like
him
I
saying it.
believe he
just
was a
just
Democrat
just
in the 1830s.
just
Yeah,
like
Yeah,
back
I
when
so
don't
dinosaurs
believe
were alive.
just
let's just all agree he's definitely not a Democrat.
just like I
Yeah,
don't believe
he's
I
not.
think a
He's
you.
lot of
Oh
people.
my
definitely on our
God!
side now, for sure.
Just like I don't believe you are a Democrat, Mike.
I don't claim to be a Democrat at all. Yeah, I never have been
Well,
a
you
Democrat my whole life.
voted like a retard then.
It doesn't. Listen,
No,
I don't vote. I don't vote down party lines, Issa. Listen, I've been a Republican my entire life until Donald Trump. I'm a never
You
Trumper
didn't vote for
forever.
Trump.
No, never, ever.
And I
I
think it's
never
You're
a
a
change
will.
never
Never
after.
Trumper.
would. Never will.
That's
Ever.
Okay,
interesting.
so
Ugh.
Mike, what are your thoughts on how he is bringing back the U.S. to life?
I don't have I don't have a lot of thoughts about it. Mostly because I'm sitting back on purpose and not judging anything. I'm rooting for success of America and for the strengthening of America, and I'm rooting for a little more cohesiveness among our citizens than we've seen in recent past. And for that reason alone, I think it's irresponsible to speak out against my commander in chief when he's in office. So I'm thankful that he's trying things that people haven't tried before. I'm totally open to new suggestions and new attempts at things that are different than we've considered in the past and always. And I want him to succeed in making us more
Great
better
again.
country
That's
than we were
right.
before.
Say the
That's
word.
it. That's it.
Cautiously optimistic.
I'm cautiously optimistic, and I'm very much willing to reserve my judgment of him uh, during his tenure. That's what I have to say about him.
But I mean, like, cannot you just be honest and say that he's kicking some ass and that he's bringing
Oh,
back your
He
I,
just
country
gave you
to
his
the
opinion on it.
I
position?
can be
Saying that would
honest
be
in
like eating
saying
shit
that
for
it
him.
is way, Issa,
Yeah.
it is. I can be honest in saying it's way too early to make that assumption. We just
Yeah,
had a
his
report
tongue
yesterday
cannot form those
of an
words.
increase in inflation. So I
You know
am
how
not. I'm
far?
cautiously optimistic. There is no. I'm being completely honest in
Hey,
saying that I'd be willing to say that maybe in a few years, but right now, no. It's way too early to say that
yeah,
about him. Way
Mike.
too early.
Inflation lags so far behind the presidency. He had
Exactly.
zero effect
Not
on
3 weeks.
yeah. It takes a quarter, 2 quarters, 3 quarters,
That's
four
fine, and
quarters.
that's why I'm waiting. That's why I'm waiting to see.
Right, but don't you think, to be honest, I was a little skeptical because I think of just of the aggressiveness, but the amount of fraud and waste that Doge has undercovered. I love the fact that we're funding the college education of an ISIS member, like of this kid. Like, what the hell we're spending all this money on? Some of the stuff we were spending money on, just the whole treasury
Dude,
system.
I'm fine with an audit of that situation. I'm not even
Right.
sure though that they know what they're saving right now. He is definitely lying about the mounts already, and it's
I
typical
don't
him
know,
to
but
to
even if it's
inflate
off
it.
by 50%, that's still a lot of bucks.
I don't even think. I don't know if it's 50%.
I don't
Who
know if it's
knows?
even
How
close.
do
He
we
said
know that
hundreds of,
he
he
is
said
lying?
tens
I don't
of
know. I don't
billions
know.
the other day. I don't
Yeah,
think
but
it's
that
even
could have been.
remotely
He
close
didn't
to
say
tens
the
of
time
billions.
period. He didn't say the time period. So
I
could
don't
have.
think it's even remotely close to tens of billions. Let's put it
I
that
That
way.
could have
agree
So
been
I
with the
don't
over
think it's
many
that
audience.
50.
years. It
We
could
need
have
that
been.
shit in Canada too. Every government
We
needs to
need
be
it. Yeah, we
audited.
totally need it.
Yeah.
Look at all
I
of it.
just wonder
Fucking,
if you were
yeah.
so I wonder, were you so reserved in belief and understanding when it was things like, oh, Donald Trump's working with Russia to defraud? Like, I'm just wondering, where's your line for this hesitancy to believe what you're being told to come in?
I don't have a hesitancy to believe what I'm being told necessarily. That's a general statement, and I wouldn't agree with that. I would say that I deeply, deeply, deeply care about the character and integrity of the leaders that I stand behind. I've worked for great leaders in the Marine Corps that I would never, that are not even remotely like Donald Trump. If he was my general, I wouldn't particularly be impressed by him. And so for me, because I care about integrity and discipline and character, I personally can't accept his character flaws. That's just me. The rest of it, politics wise, if you want to talk about policy, I'm not a policy wonk. So
Hold on.
I
So
don't know what to
you
say
I
about it.
mean,
voted. You voted. Hold on, James. You voted for Kamala. Are you saying that she had a good character and she didn't have character flaws?
Again, that's another thing. I hate this either or thing. I was given
oh,
two choices.
now it's either or. Now the character
Yeah,
flaws
it's
don't
bullshit.
matter.
Yeah, I don't agree with this either or bullshit. No,
No, no,
I'm
no.
not a
You
The
know,
only
this
Kamala
is
fan.
a
thing. The
Democrat.
only
This guy
thing that
here
I
is
Guys,
am
definitely a
Mike
challenging.
is
Democrat.
being
Hold
Full
on.
blooded.
I
Let
don't
me
have to
perfectly
be a
answer you.
Kamala fan
The
to not
only
vote for
reason
Donald Trump.
why.
Mike is being
I'm
I don't have to
perfectly
be a
challenging
Democrat
reasonable
to
here.
not vote
here.
for Donald
I'm
Trump.
to start moving people to the audience. If you don't keep talking over me. So the only reason why I'm challenging here is because you're saying that you don't forgive his character flaws, and you voted for a person that has a very dubious character and personality
It's
and reputation.
listen,
So
this is a game
and
we
you
can
voted
play.
for that.
This is a game we can play, but if we're gonna write down on paper character flaws, I'm not, I don't really want to play it with you, but if we're going to write them down on paper, I have on one side some quantifiable facts, on another side some feelings and ickiness that I can't necessarily quantify with actual facts. I mean, I can talk about felonies, I can talk about accusations of rape, I can talk about all kinds of things. I can talk about multiple wives cheating on all of them. I can talk about all these things, and then we can go back and say, "Oh, Kamala does all that too," or we can go back and say Kamala does a bunch of other stuff. The fact is, I have tangible, factual evidence. I'm a very literal person, okay? About one. The other ones, I have feelings, innuendos, and judgments. And there are feelings and innuendos and judgments on Trump too, but there's enough facts on Trump that I can just list the facts for him. So that's all I need. I don't need the rest of this mumbo jumbo about I don't like Kamala, she's a bad person bullshit. Then write it down. Who is she being accused of raping?
But
Who
what about
has she been proven
performance?
to
Or
cheat
what
on her
He
about?
didn't
wife?
rape
Is
anyone,
she
But
is
what?
she a,
and
I
he
mean,
no, no, no,
has she been convicted of felonies? Like,
no, no,
just
no, no
make a
rapist.
list.
Mike, what
Make a
about competent?
list.
What about put aside everything you mentioned, and what about performance on the job? Do you did you honestly believe she performed well and deserved a promotion to president?
Performance on the job. I don't think Trump did
No, no.
even remotely
You
close to a
said
good
no, no, no.
performance
I'm
on the
just
job
saying.
either. I don't think either one.
See, I'm telling you guys that this is a script that these guys have. It's not the
It's
first
not
person
a
that we heard sound
script,
like this.
James. James,
This
it's
is the
me. It's
100th
my
Well,
person that
fucking
we've heard
reality,
say these
James.
exact
what
same
you're
words.
James,
saying, what you're saying
you have a fucking
essentially.
script,
All right,
okay? You're accusing me of having a
you're
script.
yelling,
I am on
you're
it.
yelling, you're yelling.
All of you, shut the fuck up. You're gonna make me be that
Because
woman
James,
rocker
you're being an
here if you
asshole. It's
don't
not a
shut the fuck
script.
up. So
Trust
Then
me,
why
I'm
does it
50
sound like
years
every
why
old.
do
other
you need
person
I,
to
that's been
start
I,
scripted?
yelling
James,
over
I
each
am so
other?
far from
This
a
is so
fucking script that it would
annoying.
boggle your fucking retarded
You
mind.
sound
Okay,
just like the
I have.
script, then why? Why do you sound exactly
I
like
don't
the
care if I
script that
sound
they
like a
give?
script. The script doesn't belong to
You're
me. I don't
literally
own it,
reading it
James. So
out almost word
quit.
for word.
No, James, shut up. Just shut up for a minute, okay?
Yeah, and now that the script doesn't have a response to what
James,
happens
shut
when you call
up.
out the script, the
Hey,
only thing you have to
you
say
want
is
James,
to you
shut
want to
up.
shut James up
Welcome
for a
to another
second?
episode of
sounds
Low
off.
IQ Dumb People talking about nothing, wasting time.
It's not stupid. It's not what I'm saying is not
James.
stupid. What I'm saying is a legitimate take on what I believe and why
So
I
what
believe
you're
what I believe.
saying
It's
is
not
the
a fucking
script that
script,
you've
James.
been given to
You're
say in
being
response
stupid,
to certain
James,
things.
for
Okay,
accusing
both
Great.
people
of
of
you.
Stop
scripts.
Zach,
yelling in my
Great.
fucking ear! What?
you stop, Zach. Next time you use the big mic, you're gonna go to the fucking audience. I'm tired. And both of you, if you want to fight, go to the chat.
I don't want to fight. I want to be able to talk without
Right,
James
Mike,
over
I
talking.
have a quick question for you. So, as an ex-Marine, what do you think about the fact that Donald Trump didn't start any wars
I'm
during
fine
his
with that.
tenure?
Right now I'm war exhausted. I'm fine with that.
I mean, is that not an important factor to you at all?
It's an important factor to me to consider that the wars that took previous place were not all unjustified. So if we want to talk about war by war, fine, but I'm not going to make some blanket statement about yes to all wars or no to all wars. That's fucking stupid.
James, I'm
Mike,
following you. Some
Mike,
people
I
don't
agree.
like nuance, man. I'm following you exactly.
Mike,
Sorry, Mike. I'm following you, Mike. I completely
Yeah, I'm
disagree with
tired of this
James.
lack of nuance. It's fucking
Yeah,
ridiculous. It's a case by
it
case
is
basis. As a U.S.
ridiculous.
Marine, I have plenty of opinions about fucking war, but it's
Yeah,
not stop all wars or go fight wars. It's much more. It's much deeper than that. If you want to
I
talk about
know.
stupid people arguing, that's the kind of shit they argue over. I'm not
Yeah,
stupid at all.
no,
I'm
I
actually
know.
quite intelligent.
I
So I
know, I
don't need to
know.
hear this bullshit.
And it's terrible when people will stop you like half sentence, say, "Oh, well, you said this," as if they know your entire opinion.
Yeah,
It's
and as if it's a
ridiculous.
script. Listen, if
Yeah,
you write your own script,
Hey,
write it.
Mike,
If
if you
I
want to
fall
go
into
suck
lines
this
with your
cock,
script,
you're gonna
then so
ruin.
be it. That's your judgment. I don't give a fuck about your judgment, James.
Well, if I may, it
It
sounds
is
to
a
me like
script.
what I'm hearing, Mike, is that you're saying basically Kamala and Trump were equally bad, but Trump was worse.
I'm saying Trump and Kamala are equally bad, and I have serious problems with Trump's character. I'm not saying shit about Kamala's character, and I did provide examples why Trump's character is quantifiable and hers is not as evenly quantifiable. That's
Didn't
all I
she
did.
like
Right there.
blow
Leave it
her
at that.
boss to get her initial foothold in her career? She like gave a blowjob to her boss or something.
There's no proof of anything more than a hand job.
Either way,
uh,
a blowjob doesn't concern me. A blowjob's not the issue here
You don't
at all.
mind if some woman is getting ahead by giving a hand
No.
job?
I do, but
Well, so
that's
wait
one
a
thing.
minute.
Okay, so
What
where's
is
the
it?
rest of your list? I just gave you three for
Well,
Trump.
no,
Give me
I don't have a
some more than
list.
a
I
blowjob.
just have
Hold on.
one.
Yeah, that's why.
Hold on.
I
Hold
told you
on.
I'm literal.
Hold on, Zach's
My,
Easy.
talking. Time for Jeff
Mike,
to step in.
yeah, hold on. I don't understand this constant attack on Mike for forcing him to prove his purity on why he chose what he chose. Like he doesn't have a particularly unreasonable opinion. He's not particularly negative on the president. Like he really doesn't owe anyone an explanation anywhere past where he is, and
exactly.
where he is a reasonable place for uh, someone to live who hasn't phoned in critical thinking. So, and I say this having had lots of problems with lots of things Mike has said over the years, but I don't understand this obsessive picking apart of his position today. Frankly, it's boring the fuck out of me.
Mike,
Me
I
too.
think most of the people here can quantify all the flaws in the character of Trump, right? The question I ask you is, could people change, especially near death experience, right?
Sure,
Trump had
people can
gone
totally
through
change.
near death experience. Is it possible he's now changed? That's the question. Nobody doubt about all the quantifiable flaw you can list. The question is it possible Trump could change after a near death experience? That's all.
It is if he provided tangible evidence or even told me that that's the case. Personally, I don't think that he is more or less likely to do any of the things he's been convicted of going forward. I'm not sure that I don't think his character has dramatically changed, but I'm fine to see some evidence for sure. But
Say,
can people change? Yes. Do they change over
Mike,
the course of 4 years when they're content and in a winning position where they don't have a need for change? Not necessarily. So I don't know. He doesn't really have an incentive to change. So I'm not sure why you would claim he did.
Not
Mike,
4 years,
is
just
it correct to say that
one
it doesn't
instant
much
of near death
matter
experience.
if he's changed, since you're keeping an open mind and hoping that he will do a good job as president in spite of it?
Exactly. Listen, what I believe is a lot of presidents that had course corrections for the United States of America made those course corrections at a time when the country was not behind them. And in retrospect, after years of looking into it and evaluating it far beyond the time it took place, a lot of these situations have been deemed good for the country. He's very likely, possibly that case. Okay, he could go down in history and be taught with Abraham Lincoln, who was opposed, who was opposed by a majority of Americans in the beginning, along with a lot of other people. All these decisions that are made that are course corrections, they're usually typically made when America is 60, 70% against them, not with them. Okay. And that's fine. We need a course correction. We need a lot of course correction. So let him do it. Let's look at him later. Anybody says he's so fucking great right now because he's been in for a few months is ridiculous. You're far out. You're way ahead of yourselves. I mean, give the guy more time to fucking. Let's put it this way: is that all you expect to be convinced of things? Is that like that level of evidence? That's fucking. That's not critical thinking, folks. You need a little more evidence.
Yeah, I agree with you completely, man. I like your thought process.
Mike,
You know
everybody
why?
has
Because my thought process isn't partisan. I truly have voted Republican my entire life until Donald Trump. That's completely true. I
You
did
don't
that
have
for
to
various
support your
reasons.
decision. Like your decision is your decision. Let's talk about
yes.
like spring training. Who
More
thinks?
people need to not vote for color, and more people need to
Yeah,
consider a case by case basis. That's
Hey,
it.
I'm
Mike,
not a
I
race.
quick
I'm
I
not
question
a.
agree.
for you.
I'm not a
I agree.
racist when it comes to voting.
Mike, notwithstanding where you voted in the past, when Trump runs for his third term, are you planning to vote for him?
Yeah, that I'm staunchly opposed to because I'm
Hey, it's
constitutional.
possible that they can have a constitutional amendment within 4 years. Highly
No,
unlikely, but
Oh,
is
please,
possible.
God, no.
no, 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 no.
Let's
Maybe a
wait for the
constitutional
midterm
convention will be
election.
called.
Midterm election. Mike, midterm election. Let's see how the American, respond to the midterm election.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
party
I
in
think that'll be
power,
interesting.
yeah,
I'm waiting to
usually
see that.
loses something, I think.
I'm waiting to see that. I mean, if I don't know. I mean, if let's put it this way, I don't think a lot of people are attacking him right now. I actually think he's being very. I think most America is fairly hands off. I think most Americans like me, they voted for change. They didn't vote for him as opposed to they voted for change, and he was representing change. And when Kamala was asked what she would change about Biden, she said nothing, which was the biggest mistake she could have made. That's what people voted for. That's how he got at the independence the second time when he didn't get him the first time. That's it. It's fucking common sense.
Yeah, and Biden didn't do any give her any help when he was interviewed and said she was with me side by side with every decision. You know,
I
she was
appreciate
there.
the opportunity to say what I think. That's fine, or defend
Yeah,
myself. I appreciate it.
don't worry about it.
I think, Mike, it's not just U.S. The whole world need the change, right? And Trump might trigger the change. Elon Musk might help him to trigger the change. Let's see. The world need change, and right now we just desperate someone, there to trigger the change.
The problem with that, in my opinion, is the change the world needs is away from fascism, and I think it remains to be seen whether he's taking us closer to it or away from it in some capacity. The
Mm.
rest of the world is facing more and more fascism, which is why they would demand change. So, if you think he's a fascist, you're not going to be happy about what he's doing to address that issue. If you don't think he's a fascist and you just think that somehow he's this incredible genius that has new ideas that haven't been considered very often, then great. Then you're going to vote for him.
Mhm.
That's it.
The other problem with any kind of change, and I'm sure you'll agree with this, James, is that if you craft large scale geopolitical change very quickly, a number of unforeseeable consequences follow after, which it's just like you can't predict them. You never know. So
Exactly.
that's the other problem with quick changes. But could be better, could be worse. I don't know. I mean, look.
Exactly.
In my case here in Canada, right, we got the whole steel tariffs thing. Um, when Trump was saying stop that fentanyl, I completely agreed with him. Our government's not strict enough and tight on it enough, and I think most Canadians agreed with him. We're like, fuck yeah, that was a good idea. Stop whatever fentanyl that's coming in, because if you ever went to Vancouver, the entire city's like not the entire city, but part of the city is like zombie land. So that was a good thing, but. I mean, if there are tariffs, it might develop innovation and creativity inside of our country. So there's all sorts of knockoff effects. You never know what's going to happen with change, let alone Gaza. Who knows what the fuck's going to happen there? I mean, in Gaza, if there's huge change there, what could happen is even if the Saudi royal family and the wealthy folks there in Dubai and the Emirates, they might want to continue to have a really sensational good relationship with the United States, but their people might completely revolt, right? And they might have to appease their people, and they might be forced to become closer allies with China. So, like, there's all sorts of knockoff effects. It's difficult to plan for. You never know.
Mind violence, you are right, but at the same time, you haven't spoke much with the people of Saudi, right? So I spoke a lot with the people of Saudi, and they are really pro what is going on right now. and they are really against extreme radical Muslim, right? So
That's
yeah,
good. It's
just to
good.
give you
Yeah.
some point.
You do business between Singapore and Saudi? Your accent, you're from Singapore, right?
Well, I think many people question about where I come from, but that's not the point. The
No,
point
no, I'm
is,
just asking, like,
right?
from your perspective.
No,
I'm
no,
not
no.
being critical of
I'm
it.
not doing any business. Yeah, but I'm pro-Israeli, and I speed up. Why I pro-Israeli, and because of what I spoke, the Saudi came to me and taught me a lot and agree, and share me a lot what the Saudi thinks. So I'm just reflecting back to you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's interesting. It's an interesting perspective for sure. It's good.
Also, mind virus. I agree. The big change could be dangerous, could be very hard to navigate. What could happen? A lot of dangerous thing could happen. Risky thing could happen. The question is, some of us believe that there is a bigger wisdom behind what Trump is doing, and 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 this would be the 2.4 billion people in the world hoping that there's a bigger wisdom behind what Trump is doing, right? And we totally agree what
Maybe.
Mike
Hard
talked
to say.
about. Yeah, yeah, we totally agree. Mike talk about all the past thing. We can quantify all these things, but we saw the single instant that changed his way of thinking, and we hope that would continue, and we just want to let know there could be a bigger wisdom behind what he's doing and his team is doing. This is an unprecedented cabinet with the highest number of Bible believer in the cabinet, unprecedented in US history. Let's see what happens, because if these are the unprecedented number of cabinet who are Bible believer, there might be a bigger wisdom behind this cabinet member. We are
Yeah.
hoping that is the case. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I
Was
agree
the
with you, but we'll
was
see.
the 2.4 you're referring to the worldwide Christian population?
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure there's a correlation between sound political judgment and one being religious, but we'll see, Dave. I don't know. I mean, I think my
No, no.
opinion's similar
This
to
is
that of Mike.
why.
You have to wait and see.
This is why we are here. You voice your view. We voice our view, and over the time we get to understand each other. Learning from each other's view. Everything is great.
That I completely agree with. Yeah, yeah. No, I was asking about Singapore because I'll probably go there in a little bit.
Now, as I spoke to Democrats, we argue, and it seemed like the best way to help them to feel safer and to feel that things are not that bad is the second term, is the midterm election. Because if the midterm election turn out to be same unprecedented as the 6th of November, then the country have spoken. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure how religious Trump is. I mean, American politics are pretty complex. I
No
know that he
one
has.
stronger on religion than Donald Trump. I think he said something to those things. No one believes in the Bible more than I do.
Right, right. It
And he
has all the
published his
best
own
That
words.
Bible.
sounds like a
Like,
believable
hey,
quote by him.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
one. Yeah, he's no
No,
one stronger in the military than Donald Trump.
yeah,
yeah.
your
Nobody's
first,
better.
I think just Sunday, he talked about he want to bring religion back. And then in his inauguration speech, I don't know how many president in the past spent 1 minute about how God saved him, right? In his
Yeah.
inauguration speech. So let's wait and see. And you, if you are non-believer, obviously you it's difficult. But for us who are believer, we understood and we have the
Mm.
experience to tell if somebody speak the truth or not.
Right, but I mean, he is appealing to his base. A lot of the people that vote for him certainly are religious.
I don't know if you dodged a bullet through an inch and a half of life and death. I mean, I think, and you became the president of the United States. I don't see a better thing that would make somebody a believer.
But James, no, he choreographed it. There was no inch and a half. It was finally highly choreograted with this superb world class sniper. Come on.
Here's
I'm
why.
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Here's why what you're saying. If you dodged a bullet, I don't see what more it would take, because
Yeah, it was a complete joke. It
hang
was
on.
farce.
He passively avoided a bullet. He didn't dodge it. He was missed.
No,
And so
he
it's
is
not something
the
that he
chosen one
did.
in the
It's not
Matrix,
some
and he dodged that
he
bullet.
was
He slowed
put in
time
a
and he dodged it.
circumstance. He was
Okay.
put
Nobody
in a
is
It was the
saying
hand
that
of
circumstance
he
God.
It
dodged
was a
it.
that
joke.
he
Everybody,
endured. That's different
nobody
than
is
He
actively
saying,
caught it
doing
with his
something.
teeth
nobody
like
ever said
Superman and
that.
ate the bullet. That's what he did.
He got lucky.
No,
That's the
but
whole
what I'm
point.
saying is that's
He
why it's not it's
Lucky.
not a factor about amongst convincing people what you're suggesting. It has nothing. It's basically
Hold
irrelevant
on,
to that
hold on.
fact.
The
A
point that
lot
I'm
of
making is
people,
that
hold on. A lot
you're
of
questioning
people
his
cry
religious.
out to God in foxholes. What are we talking about here, right?
Yeah,
I
you're
mean,
You
questioning
find
his
religion
religious
a
in
beliefs.
lot of
foxholes,
And
people,
L.
yes, and I'm telling you, when you go through things like that, a lot of people turn to religion. I don't even know why we're pretending like that's not a thing. That's stupid.
Yes, big thing.
exactly, Ellie or L.
Deathbed,
I'm not pretending it's like not
changes.
a thing. I'm
Okay,
not
then
even
why
remotely
are
pretending
we
that.
saying that? Like, it is a thing.
I mean,
What I'm saying is it's not a factor that is worthy of
It is a
consideration for the
factor.
Yes, it
purposes of what
is.
he's talking
Wait, how
about
do
at
you
all.
declare
this
it?
guy was
You
president. He
know
was
what he's
arrested. He
thinking?
was perp walked through Atlanta. He has a mugshot. Then he was shot at. He dodged death and became the president again. If I were
Yeah.
Donald Trump, I would be one of the strongest
Sounds like a good
believers that the
movie.
planet has ever seen.
I mean, we're watching it now.
Who would play Donald Trump in that movie?
Donald Trump,
Hopefully, I
obviously. No one
can.
Donald
else.
Trump.
Hopefully, I can't do
James
the voice
Woods.
though. So
I think James Woods would do it.
James Woods would
No, he
kill
needs
it.
to pack on a lot of pounds.
Yeah, and I think, did Jesus tell him to grab her by the pussy? I mean, honestly,
No, but when women, okay, you know what?
is
I'm
Trump a
so
good
fucking sick
example?
of that one. That
No, no,
one,
no.
do you
My
know how
point is,
many
sorry.
women throw themselves at wealthy men? I'm a
I
woman,
get it.
okay?
I get
You know
it.
how many girlfriends
Oh yeah,
out there when I was young be like, oh,
Let
he
her
has a
talk.
lot of money.
yeah,
Women will spread their legs
they
for
will.
money. And if you don't know this, it's probably because you don't have any money.
Okay, so
no, what
here,
it is that mind virus is operating like a mind virus. So that was
no,
a
no, no.
hypnosis attempt. He wants you to
What
think
I'm
when you think Donald Trump to
right,
think not assassination attempt, but to think grab her by the pussy. He wants you to think
right.
of the worst
What I'm
things,
Leave
the
out
what
way
the
I'm
that a
part where
dog
he
saying,
sits when you
literally
say sit.
says, and they let you. They'll let
yeah,
you. He didn't say, I just do it. I rape them digitally. I just grab them.
Right.
No, he
Thank
okay,
you for giving us the
absolutely
full
added the
line, not the
consent
edited
part.
line.
Hello?
yes.
You
Okay,
know,
so my point is that
Pick a
I don't
better
think
line. There's
he.
plenty of things to
no,
So
use.
use
That
the
one's
entire
fucking
line,
dumb.
L. Use the
okay,
entire line, not just a
yeah.
snippet that's highly edited.
My point is that he doesn't really like I was raised in a Christian church, right? I don't think most Christians would say, a lot of what he does is very Christian-like behavior. It
But
You know,
doesn't
one of his
express the
strongest backers are
ideals.
well,
Christian.
here,
Come on,
okay,
this is
if you were
nuts.
Yeah.
raised in the Christian church, then you do know this too. um Whatever it is that he did, it looked to me that he came to religion life, which is often the case.
I
A lot of
agree. I
people
agree.
come to God. In
It's like I said,
fact,
it's a script. I was
the
raised in
thief
the
on the
church.
cross next to Jesus became a Christian that day, that very minute. That's how fast it happens. So this whole bullshit, like, well, he did this or that. I mean, uh, we've all
Right.
done some shit. Are you a
I
Christian or
I
not?
I agree. I
Does
agree.
that
I
does
agree.
the shit you did make you not a Christian?
Well, and it's not like Christians don't regularly compromise their values on a regular
All
basis
the
all the
fucking
fucking
time.
time. So, I mean, I'm not like, yeah, I'm not going to say anything great about Christianity.
I'm just saying, like, a lot of this
You
behavior
mean the script is saying?
does not reflect like ideal Christian values. All right, and I think that's
I
fair
don't
enough.
think he claimed to be a virtue of Christianity all through
Well,
his
and
life.
if he
He
does
never
claim
did
it, he's
say
only
that.
claiming it because he knows he needs to win their support. He doesn't. He's smart like that. He's more than willing to
Yeah, he
lie
doesn't
to
actually
earn
believe in
support.
God. He dodged a bullet,
I
but
don't
doesn't
think I don't think
believe.
he's really a Christian, quote unquote. Anyway, I
And
don't think he
show
would
me a
go a day in a
perfect
fucking church.
Christian or a perfect
But of
Jew
course he's
ever
going to
done
do that and
anything.
say that he needs their support.
I'm a Christian. I don't go to church.
You what?
I'm a Christian. I don't go to
I'm
church.
not saying that's necessary. I'm just saying he's not a
It isn't
Christian. I
necessary.
think it's obvious.
You work out your own salvation. That's the whole point of it.
Hmm.
My
How he
virus.
identifies and
I
how he
mean,
acts are two separate things. There is no perfect Christian. There's no perfect Jew. There's no
correct.
perfect anything.
I take
I
that.
agree. I
I
agree.
push back on that. I am in fact a perfect Jew and a perfect Christian.
Okay.
That seems unlikely.
So
I'm going to
my
fact check
virus,
that.
right? So this near death experience, right? Either make him believe instantly, like what El talk about, become Christian, or the other way to look at it is God save him, and he admitted God save him, right? And one thing very important, my virus in Bible, God always work on the imperfect one. God always choose to work on the imperfect one, because if God can make imperfect one doing great, what does it mean? God is the one. God is
Yeah.
this glorified God. Okay, that's how it work. Always
Or
work
there's a
on
third
imperfect one.
option. There's a third option. He just got lucky.
Here's an interesting question. Should the Catholic Church, which takes its job of investigating claims of miracles very seriously, should they investigate the assassination attempt and failure on President Trump as a bona fide miracle?
No,
Well, there are a
I
lot
say no.
more interesting example,
That,
right? The
that's
Catholic
not how
Church
the
can
Catholic
invest.
process of beatification
Yeah,
and
there are a lot more
sanctification works.
example.
It's clear that Donald
Yeah,
Trump
they
has
would need
plot
to assign
armor.
it to somebody, Mixed. And who would they assign it to?
Priest.
Which
There's a
one that
bishop
happened to
in
be there
Boston.
that did something to aid in the miracle?
Why does someone have to aid in the miracle? Why
Because
can't they
that's
just do the
how
miracle?
the beatification process works, is my understanding.
Are you saying like if they find that a person's arm was chopped off and then it grew back miraculously, they just don't record it if the guy
No,
was a
a
Christian?
person has to be involved in creating miraculous events to become a
No, no,
saint.
no, no. I'm not. I didn't say saint him. I said identify the event as a miracle. Miracles define events, not people.
Yeah, I get that, but they don't just say, "Okay, well, that was a miracle. That was a
Yes,
miracle.
they
That was a
do.
miracle."
Yes, they
Like
literally
what? Give
have
me an
an
example of one. I
organization
mean,
that
maybe I
sends
don't know, but
investigators to figure out whether this is or is not a genuine miracle.
I
I
thought
Why
they
uh
did
I
wouldn't
that in
they?
lost
conjunction
my
with a person, not just,
uh,
"Oh, wow, this thing
No, you're
occurred."
thinking of sainthood, and I don't know
yeah.
why.
I kind of lost
Because
my
that's
faith
when
in
they tend to associate miracles with sainthood.
No, they
my
look at miracles in general. They
Really?
yeah,
believe that
yeah,
God
they do.
interacts with the world. They are curious when he
Okay,
does so.
Yeah.
unaware.
If you ever took a walk through the fucking St. Peter's, I don't know. After going there, I kind of lost my faith in the Catholic Church because they still have
We can hear it in your voice. It's an odd
yeah,
thing, but we can hear your atheism in the way you speak.
Curious.
James.
yeah.
I'm not
So
sure what that is, but isn't that real? You can hear it that that's an atheist.
James, what's your day job? You don't have to worry about giving
I'm a
it. If you
politician. I just politic all the
Yeah, well,
time.
if that doesn't work, be a comedian because you're pretty good at it.
I'm
um,
also a comedian on the side on Clubhouse.
yeah, yeah. If you ever been to that fucking
Oh, come on.
the
The more
billions
you
of
talk to him,
dollars
the more
in
material you're
gold.
giving him. Mind virus.
Yeah, I know. Catholic Church got more money than God. Millions of tons of gold inside of.
I bet you they also
Probably.
have many of the temple relics inside their archives.
I mean, you guys can tell the script now, right? Like anytime you talk about Trump, you're like, oh, he believes in God. The first thing that happens is it's like line 1, they said God. You have to go to line 7 where it says respond about grabbing by the pussy. It's such an obvious script. I'm not sure they're even aware they're doing it, but it's like talking to one of those interactive TV shows.
Oh, I thought it was like a telemarketing script. If somebody says this, then say that. If somebody
It is
says,
like that. They're programmed internally. They don't even know that that's what they're doing, but it's almost
No, they
exactly like
literally
it.
have prompts on the computer screen. Like, okay, you call someone that says, "What did they say?" And then you push number 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, and then it refreshes the screen. It shows you like, okay,
It's a
respond this way.
conspiracy, man.
Yeah, but think of that inside their
Wait,
head.
wait. The technology of copying a voice actually been around for
Yeah,
more than 15 years now.
yeah. And, call
So
centers started in the 70s.
yeah, well, the AI one I'm talking about, but when we figured out about AI, that technology already existed in a lot of private, let's say, intelligence system or whatever. So to say that maybe it's him or not him, it's very possible that it's not him. That's why even the court doesn't take voice as evidence of anything anymore. It has to be video and audio and pure evidence that this person is who is in the audio. Before,
Okay,
back in the days, in
What
the
happened? They
in the
found Tupac? What happened?
in the 2000s, they used voice as an evidence, but since I think maybe recently they don't use it. I don't know, at least our courts don't use it.
So
Many other courts don't
you're
use it.
suggesting there's a chance that the recorded video on Access Hollywood was not him? I mean, that's ridiculous. That's a I get your
No,
point, but it has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
even if it's him, when he says grab them by pussy, it's like a dirty talk that is not even, attractive anymore. Maybe it's like a grandpa talking to his friends in a locker room, like it's like it's not even sexy or dirty talk. It's like a grandpa trying to have a dirty talk. It's I don't know. It's just
Those are
stupid.
two completely different points. It's not even if it is him. It is him, and then you can make your second point,
Even if
which has been made a
even if
million
it's
times. That's
him,
a script, by the way. What you're saying is literally a script because it's been said a million times on television.
so what?
The locker room
He
talk.
didn't
Well, I'm
say.
just suggesting that when I'm accused of making scripts, the reality is I don't make
So
scripts, and
what?
people do make scripts and they don't know they're doing it. I'm trying to make sure we're all aware of that reality.
You're
It's
definitely
important.
right. The response locker room talk is also a script. The
It's
real response
stupid.
is, guess what? You grab them by the pussy, that's how you make babies. That's what the response is. That's what the natural, regular response is. And he's got some kids. If he hasn't grabbed him by the pussy, well then I don't know what the hell he did.
What?
I still don't give a shit about that statement.
Well,
Well,
he's going to
especially
grab
because
you
they
then.
let you. When they let you, when you've been given consent, and both people want the pussy grabbed, you grab the pussy. I don't
Well,
That's what
know.
I'm saying.
I mean, what you going to grab?
Ella, you as a woman, do you
What do we
offended
expect? We expect
by
Donald Trump to
someone
be
doing that?
If I
a
say
gay or
grab
something?
my pussy and he says no, I'm going to be offended
I get
now.
offended.
Want you to grab my pussy, grab my pussy.
Yeah, clearly Donald Trump colluded with the Russians to grab women's pussies.
I agree.
Oh wow.
There, finally, it's finally full circle.
Yes, it was Russians. He fell in love with a Russian chick and she brainwashed him.
That mind virus.
I know.
You know, what did happen to that? What happened to the Russia collusion? Why is that just not talked about? And we're just like, oh yeah, we never accused the president of the United States of being a spy for a foreign country and then
James,
got him shot
let's
at.
talk about it because I do bring this up because I believe coup isn't the right word, but
Treason.
this was a manufactured fucking bullshit story to end the presidency of a duly elected president. And I'm sorry, I don't know what you call that, but this lie was perpetrated at our own taxpayer expense, by the way, that drug on for fucking years, but we're supposed to just forget about it. That was dangerous and it led us to where we are now.
Yeah, and it's it's a compilation. I'm not even sure what word I'm trying to say there. It's a bunch of stuff that has been compiled together.
Trying to say conflation.
Russia collusion, rapist, felon, all this stuff that they've done. That it's just like it's a clear and obvious coordinated treason that's happening in our country. And then it's odd for me when Donald Trump gets up and he's like, oh, I want to be merciful and blah, blah, blah. I'm not sure if he's doing it to just calm them down and make them off guard, but I don't think he should. I think he should go full retribution because it's not actually Donald Trump that is the victim of everything that happened. It is me
We
and you
are.
as the American citizen. You're right. We are. Exactly. Us. We are the people that were screwed over, not Trump. He's just the guy that took all the bullets. Literally the bullets.
Well, he dodged one.
Yeah, and it's not about. It's like you don't even have to like them at this point anymore. It's just like what they're doing, you have to just be against. I'm not sure what the plan is. I don't know, but whatever they're doing, we have to say fuck no.
Well, I think that's what people miss a little bit. The vote isn't like people voting for Trump isn't like, I love this guy. He walks on water. I don't actually know that. I know a lot of people who say, I actually don't like his personality. I find him abrasive. It's more of a protest vote. It's more of a whatever we're doing, this road we're going down, I'm saying no. I'm saying no.
I think you could say that about most presidential elections.
Yeah, that goes
No,
both ways.
It's
That's
no,
it,
no.
50-50. But
it's
every
well.
single time you say you vote
Here's
for
my
Trump,
thought.
someone
Here's
claims
my thought. Al.
your Kamala fan. Like
Right.
it goes both ways. That's
Yeah.
No,
politics.
no, 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 no.
He's no
What
different than
I'm
anybody
saying
else.
is there is an agenda, a wholesale agenda. I would vote for the devil himself over what is happening in this country. And that part, I don't think people get. Like this whole, it's a cult. As much as you say that, I feel that way about Democrats, maybe more so. Vote blue no matter who. What suggests cult more than that?
The
I agree.
problem is, listen, you are literally, what you're stating is literally the problem in my eyes. It's that you assign a they. The word they, the fact that you have a they
It is a
means you're
they.
the problem. You're
It
the
is a they.
reason America sucks right now
No,
because you
nope,
have a
No.
they.
nope.
Yep,
It is a
yep,
they.
yep.
And I'll tell
Yes, it
you
is.
why.
Let's
I'm
The
old
focus
they,
on
enough
the
to
they
know
is
Democrat
this.
bullshit.
Mike.
Nobody
Mike,
can
No,
define
no,
they.
they. I'll tell you
Democrats
why.
aren't what they were 10, 15 years ago. They're different. So are
They are
Republicans.
different.
There is no
They
they.
are
So you talk
different.
about they, and they is constantly
I can
shifting and changing.
define
That's the
they.
problem.
It
That is the
is.
people who have foreign loyalty to other countries that present themselves in this country as the people who are supposed to lead us. They may be Republicans, they may be
This is
Democrats,
not your
but they are
parents, Mike.
usually your
I'm
Nobody
side,
sorry.
has a
Mike.
What the
problem
fuck
with
is
Hold
that
on.
going
they.
on?
Hold
That
on.
they is in both
Hold
No,
parties.
on.
that they is the
Hold
problem. That's the
on.
whole
I
they.
didn't
The
get to
MAGAs
I
finish.
agenda.
know, and that they is in
Hold
both parties.
on.
One party doesn't own
Hold
that they.
on. Jesus Christ.
What the
I'm
fuck was
old
The
that?
enough to know
Jacobins.
that this party, the Democrat Party, and even the Republican Party, but I am definitely aware of the fact that this is not your father's Democrat Party. And anybody who tells me it is full of fucking shit.
And the exact
The
same thing can be said about the
Donald
Republican
Trump is a
Party,
member
hence
of your father's
politics.
Democratic Party.
No, we
It's
have
like you're
not.
trapped in
We have
politics and you
not
don't even know
strayed
you're
like
trapped in
that.
politics.
No, no, no,
So the
no,
That
no.
only
applies to both. The
protest
Republican Party isn't your
No,
father's Republican Party. Look, I can say it both ways. Shocking, isn't it, that
no.
it
You have
applies?
become the
Huh?
party
Use
of
Ooh.
war.
government, try
You have
everything to
literally become
destroy
the party of
America. Biden
warmongers.
try to destroy America. We can all
You
see
literally
it.
cozy up with Liz Cheney.
See,
What's
and it's a you
they
now. Now
don't
I'm
get?
in the party. Remember I said that you have a
Yes,
hard time
you are
defining
part of
they?
the they,
Now
Mike.
I'm one of the
You
No,
are
theys. Yeah,
just
you're
defining
that's
the
what's
not a
they.
bullshit.
they.
Because I'm not a Democrat. So I'm a they because you say I'm a they.
Again,
That's what's
James
bullshit.
questions a lot of
America.
That's
people,
why
and
America
you are
sucks.
part of the
I haven't
You
they.
said
sound like
shit
a
about you
they.
yet, but I'm a they. Got it. You don't know
Yes,
what
you are
they is.
part
You
of the
don't
they.
fucking have any
I
idea what
don't
they
know
is.
what you
You
are. I'm
sound like a
talking
You
they.
about
don't know
you.
what they is, and I don't know what I am because you
You
don't think so.
told me
Got it.
you weren't a
Who is a
This
they?
is fucking
Who
retarded. This
is
is dumb.
they?
This is when people are.
Sounds gay.
okay.
I
Shut the
guarantee
fuck
this
up.
guy has
I'm
loyalty to
done
a foreign
listening to
country.
that shit. I don't care what party you're in, Mike. They doesn't refer to you if it doesn't refer to you. The hit dog yells the loudest, and you just really were yelping pretty loud. So maybe you are the they. Is that possible? That you're crying like a little bitch because you are the they? Nobody said Mike. And the fact that you took it upon yourself to be the I'm the they is weird, Mike.
Yeah, and it's pretty
Look, I
obvious.
think
It's
no
like
one has
the
trust
they is the people who
for,
hate the
and no one
republic.
has
Oh,
trust
sorry,
for
Matt.
like either party long term in this country. That we have not had two presidents in a row from a single party since Reagan Bush, and that's saying something. And also, every single election, it swings away from whoever has control of Congress. That control swings away, and that's happened every single election since the '90s. This country has no long term trust in either party. It is changing. The parties keep changing. or people are moving away from the parties, but it changes constantly, and there's something going.
People are moving towards MAGA because it's the new party. There was the Republican Party. We saw a castle. We stormed the gates. We took it down. We took the castle. We sit the throne. And now, instead of a crown, we wear a red MAGA hat. It's amazing. It's beautiful. God bless.
And it'll change in 10 years. Something else.
Not as long as I'm around.
That's just what they said about.
Yeah, the way I segregate it is there's the people who are Republicans, and I don't mean the party Republicans. I mean they believe in the republic structure of our government. And then there are the non-Republicans, the globalists, and they believe in helping every other country, giving them all the money, that America is supposed to exist as some sort of like country that is only to subsidize all the other countries, that we're just some leech state that's supposed to be here to leech off of. I'm not sure why they do that. And that's a bad ideology. So that's the they.
Well, I can
James,
tell
you're going to
you
want to use another verb. It's not segregation.
there's a bit of an origin to the perspective that America is a release valve for the tensions in the old world, right? The fact that all that makes sense in English indicates that the people that founded America came from someplace else because they were struggling there. So it's not uh, in opposition to the American perspective to say that America is designed as a place for refuge from mainland old other continent.
I
But
agree with
what's
that.
interesting,
We
what's
are
interesting
a
is
refuge.
what I'm saying is that's the premise of America. You're right. America formalized that problem or issue into their way with people coming in, their bits of racism and slavery, their idea of nationalism and international politics and rights and contracts, whatever. But the perspective is a bit older than America itself, right? It's the premise that creates America that we should be making things better in the old world where we came from.
I disagree completely. I do not think so. I do not think that our country exists to make the old world better. Our country exists to get away from the old world. If the old world wanted to get better, it had 10,000 years to do so. And the ideology that we exist solely to benefit the entire old world and make every other country great at the expense of ourselves, that devalues what being a citizen is. We are a citizen. This is our country. This is our government. And we live for this government and intend to stay here. I don't ever intend to return to Europe or anywhere else. I don't
Sure.
live for them.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that you should go back there. I'm not even. I don't think that America exists solely for anyone's benefit, Americans or non-Americans. I definitely don't think they exist solely for non-Americans. That'd be really weird. But I'm saying that the premise exists, and America understands it, understood it in its drafting of its constitution, the way it wants to function. And in that, it did have this notion of there's people over there. We know that. We came from there. We like those people. We talk like them. We want to trade with them. And also the people on the other side. We want to trade with everyone because they also knew about the Silk Road. Like the construction of America is complicated. I'm simply saying that the reason there's fertile ground in America to use this subversive technique of saying America should be focused on other countries more so than on their personal issues, I think it has a bedrock. That is why a lot of the Americans came to America, because things were bad over there. And part of the proof of America is that A, all these people that struggled over there are apparently fine here, so maybe your rule system is broken, like you're saying. And B, we do it so well, we can fix what you did wrong. Because over here, we're a laboratory and we prove what works and then we implement it.
I mean, I agree. We are designed to make sure that we're the refuge for everybody to come over here from other places that are the bad. But the problem is that we are not designed to let the bad influence us to design to benefit them. That's the entire issue. When they come over here, they're supposed to join us, assimilate, become Americans. 3 generations later, they're from Missouri, they're from Mississippi, Connecticut, Vermont. They're not from Afghanistan or wherever the hell their origins are anymore.
I agree with you in like your premise. Like America does want to assimilate anyone that shows up. The only thing I'd say is, I wanted to comment. There was a proposal that people were like floating around earlier in this room. I think like my battery died, but it's exactly on point. Someone was saying we should restrict naturalized citizenship out of the elected officials of America. And I was thinking that, first of all, it sounds nationalistic, very racist. But in terms of how effective it would be,
Yeah, see there,
you,
that what you just said there. I'm sorry, I have to interrupt you. You said nationalistic, racist. Those are buzzwords. That's hypnosis. That's brainwash. It's not. We are not Europe. We are not nationalists. We are not Nazis. We are not fascists. We are not Europe.
why
That is
can't you be
American.
nationalist?
We are a republic, and to be a citizen of that republic is a duty.
That's fine, but can't you be a citizen of that republic and have a nationalist ideology?
Now, this is a republic. Nationalism is a European ideology. We have Americanism. It's completely and fundamentally different.
I mean, America formed the first nation state, not the first, but it proved the concept, causing the French Revolution and all the republics of Europe.
And
I think,
nationality indicates that something like ethnic Germans can return to Germany, they're Germans. We don't have that. We are not a nationalist state. We are a republic. Any person can be a citizen. Any person is welcome to be a citizen. We prioritize citizens first. That is republicism.
well, that's not exactly what republicanism is, but in terms of nationalism, you're saying you added an ethnic component, which could be, I don't know, maybe that is baked into nationalism. But is it possible to be nationalistic for, let's say, Greenland without being racist towards non-Greenlanders? Can't I just be in favor of the nation state of Greenland and what we all share in common?
I mean, once again, it would depend on you're using the wide reference nationalism, and that's because the brainwash. You've been told that's it. The trigger word is that when you think of things like this, nationalism pops up. German nationalism, Nazis. It's
I
not.
didn't
It's not
reference the
related.
Nazis. I said
That's
nationalism.
what nationalist is referring to. It's referring to
In
the
your
nationalist movement
head,
of
those
Germany.
concepts may be tied, but in mine, they are distinct. I don't see nationalism as being identical to Nazism, and I've studied both. I'm simply saying,
What I'm just
and
saying
again,
is that we are not Europe.
this was you like taking an offshoot by saying that I had used a buzzword that you felt was hypnotic, and now we're discussing
Yes.
your interpretation of that hypnotic buzzword.
You were describing the ideology. I was saying that we put citizens first. The way that a republic should be structured and operate. That you're relating that to nationalism, and that is a buzzword of hypnosis. You are hoping to inflict an emotional response in people's heads by using that word to negate the argument that I made, which is in logic 100% good.
You are declaring your prediction for my motivation.
It's not your motivation. You don't know you're doing it. That's why it's called brainwash.
Well, you said that I was doing it for a particular end.
It's not you. Again, you're programmed to do it. You don't even realize you're doing it. I've done it myself before.
Let me interrupt for a second. If this is true, and I'm not in charge of my faculties right now, and I'm being brainwashed, why are you talking to me? You should talk to the guy brainwashing me. No.
Well, the problem is that the brainwash works like a zombie virus, and that you desire to spread it. You don't know you're doing it, but you desire to spread it to other people.
Okay. So here's a better point then.
To stop it, you have
A,
to call it
how
out.
could you determine whether or not I've been brainwashed? What information did you gather that proved my
It's
brainwashing?
the way that you tried to relate nationalism to the
Okay.
ideology of a republic holding citizens up first. That's not nationalism.
Okay. So
Nationalism
let's unpack
is a
that. Let's unpack
European
that.
ideology
Let's
unrelated to the ideology of
Okay,
republicanism.
James. Let's unpack it for a second. You said that I said certain words, and that proved to you that I had been brainwashed. Correct?
Yes, those words were not given to you. That was a brainwash that was planted in
Okay.
your head, like
Okay.
Inception,
Okay. Okay.
and it
Okay.
spreads.
Okay, slow down, calm down, please. I wanted a yes or a no, and you said yes. I said certain words. You concluded I am brainwashed and further declared it as part of this conversation that now we should know I am brainwashed based on some words that I said, correct?
Yep.
Okay, now, do you think that perhaps you may be overstating your case based on the evidence you have?
Nope.
Okay, well, it seems to me, James, like I don't know why, but you're ending this conversation. You've decided my thoughts
No,
are
I'm sorry. I went to go take a piss, and it was inappropriate to talk to you while pissing. That's not a good thing to
no.
do.
That's not that. I'm saying
But what I'm saying is
you
that yes, if
criticize.
you
Whoa, slow down, James.
unconsciously, subconsciously, you are repeating a brainwashed
James.
line.
You're repeating yourself now, right? Okay. You are telling me that my thoughts are not valuable or worthwhile in this conversation. Rather, the thoughts of the brainwasher is valuable. And you're just talking at me or perhaps trying to enlighten me about how foolish and brainwashed I am. But
All right. Well,
that's, whoa,
let's see the
hey,
discussion.
hey, please calm down. Please. You have made it that my words are irrelevant because you're saying they come from someone else and I don't truly believe them or understand them. And you're declaring brainwash as like a big red flag that, like, don't talk to this guy. He doesn't understand what he's saying. He's just parroting other things he heard. And I'm saying that's a choice you made. You decided to end this conversation by saying, I'm not capable of talking to you about it. Just realize what you're doing when you say, I've been brainwashed.
Okay, then go ahead and you explain in your own words, right, how the ideology of a republic holding its citizens up first, which is the core foundation of a republic, how that is related to the European ideology of nationalism.
Um, I will instead deflect your question and remind you that you interrupted me discussing a nationalistic policy I was proposing as a hypothetical that you never even heard the totality of because you were very distraught by the word nationalistic.
I think that my
So,
job has been done here. I think that it's good. Have a good day, everybody. I've proven my point.
yes, James, you have proven a point. Mm.
So why anyone is not talking right now? Why everyone is silent? Bring us up your keyboard line. But can somebody tell me where is Palestine exactly? I don't see it in a map.
Pretty good. That was awesome.
Yeah, I've never seen it in a map, by the way. What is its capital? What is its ISD code? What is the means currency of Palestine? Except a flag, I have never heard like if they have got any currency, if they have got any ISD code, TLD, any national anthem, probably. Next to Narnia, where is Narnia? Is it in La La Land?
No clue, bro.
Hmm? No, someone has just said it's next to Narnia. Who wants to come up? Hmm? Who wants to come up? Tell me. Ostrina, Harry, Villanai, Dave, Jordan. Yeah, let's put it that way. Palestinian and Islam logic. Yep. Jay, would you like to come up? Oh, you're just listening to whom? No one is speaking, by the way. Okay, okay, take care. Villanai, would you like to come up? Who wants to join the speaker panel? Okay. No, I just want to ask, means Jay, if you can write down on the comment, on the chat, like where is Palestine? I have never seen it in a map, by the way. No, it does not share border with Israel. Who told you, Jay? Hey, Jack, welcome. Have you got anything to say?
No, it seems like this room is dead.
We can make it relive again.
Are you a
Let's make it
Palestinian?
alive. No, I am not. Who is Palestinian? There is nothing as a state of Palestine, bro.
Okay, well, I'm just responding to the title.
No, are you a Palestinian?
No, I'm not.
Do you support Palestine?
I support Palestinian people not all dying in a fire because I think they're human beings and they all
In
deserve
that sense, even I
love.
do support, but I have a different opinion here. I will not expect my family to be safe if I'll do terror activities going outside. Right? Are you getting my point? How I can expect my family to be safe back home if I am doing the terror activities? Yeah, even my families are innocent, not me. Can you tell me? Jack, I'm asking you.